Hey guys, and welcome to another vlog video. You can identify the vlog videos by the thumbnail having a red border. Don't ask me why I did it that way. I guess it's so you know going in that this video is probably going to be a little bit ranty because I don't want to spend hours editing a video every time I make a video, you know? But also that anything I say is, sort of off cuff. It's not scripted. It's not something that is, text that I'm reading off or something I've written down. It's just me talking to you guys like friends would talk to each other or something, Not always with, Wikipedia in front of you. Or at least I usually, when I talk to my friends and we just, talk about something and say our opinions on something, it's sort of lighthearted, and I don't think we ever have Wikipedia in front of us to fact check ourselves. We live in a very fact checking world right now, which I'm really tired of because it just means that facts matter and not thinking matters. I find it really annoying because if your logic is sound, the facts don't actually necessarily matter, which is something that I feel like people knew back in the day, but nowadays it's like, no, the only thing that matters is the fact, and the only thing that matters is that we can all agree, and that no one thinks for themselves. Having your own opinions is overrated, or something, I don't know. Never mind, that's not what this video is about. This video is about all these videos that I've seen over the years of people destroying guitars. I don't get why they do it. I mean, I get why they're doing it, but yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I understand what they're trying to achieve. It's just every time I see those videos, I'm always getting annoyed. I'm always getting kind of frustrated or angry. I always feel like I should leave comments telling them like, oh, how stupid you are, or why did you do this, or something. Like, instead of destroying that guitar, you could have either given it away or you could have fixed it and made it good. Because usually, if they're destroying a guitar, it's something bad, like a glary or something. And when I say bad, I don't mean bad as in that I think they're bad, but they are presenting this guitar as, oh, it's so bad, I've seen a couple of videos lately of people doing the whole breaking the neck of a Gibson thing, and it's a meme thing, which I think is just really irresponsible. You shouldn't like break the neck of a Gibson just because they're known for that. I mean, you should know that that's a joke. It's a meme thing. It's not an actual thing. Like, I've come across a lot of Gibsons that need, a little bit of help here and there with things, but the amount that have a broken headstock are not more than any other guitar. I mean, except for like Fender styled necks, they hold up pretty well in that regard. But when it comes to the whole sloped back headstock thing, Gibsons don't break necessarily more than any other. It's just a part of the design. But I don't understand why people. You're supposed to take care of your guitars. You're not supposed to break them. Like, oh, I leaned my guitar up against something and it fell over and broke. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, you don't have it to be so goddamn stupid. Like who buys a really expensive guitar and then treats it like trash? If you can afford to buy a Gibson, you can afford to buy a wall hanger for it and just hang it on the wall, and you won't have any issues. Like, it's not an actual issue, it's not a real problem. Sometimes I feel like people are scarily stupid. And anyway, I want to talk about the video things, because obviously what people do in their private life is one thing, but if you have 100,000 or 1 million subscribers and you're doing something that is going to affect them and the way they look at things and the way things are presented, I feel like you have a responsibility of what it is you're doing. And so it's a different thing when big YouTubers destroy guitars. And that edit there was just because I needed to go change a battery. And also, it's kind of a thing that I don't know why I'm doing it. Maybe I've seen too many other people do it. But the whole, take a sip and then cut on it. Yeah, I did it there again. But anyway, look, I've seen videos of people destroying a guitar because it's so bad. It's such a cheap knockoff crappy thing from China that there is nothing good about it, and the amount of time and money you would have to spend to make it good is so much that it's just not worth it. Well, it's apparently worth taking the time to destroy it. So I call bullshit on that. And the thing is, that's not true. Like, I've never come across the guitar. Never come across the guitar that you can't fix. And yeah, sure, making it a really nice guitar that plays beautifully might mean getting new pickups, for example. But if it's for like a kid or something, if you could just do a basic setup. On most guitars, it's like, okay, you have a little bit of fret buzz, the nut is a bit too high, you have fret sprout, like that's, you can fix that in like 40 minutes. And it's not like you actually need to be like a professional luthier who's worked in the business for 20 years to be able to do that. Like sanding back the frets and making them nice and even it takes a little bit of time to learn, but I mean, it's not like it's a super high skill level that you can't learn in, an hour. And if you go slow the first time you do it, you can definitely do it. Sure, it might take 2 hours the first time you do it, but it will take, an hour next time, and then 40 minutes maybe, and then you'll get it down to like 30 minutes and doing that sort of setup work, because you'll get used to doing it. And so I don't believe the fact that there are any guitars out there, because I mean, I haven't played every guitar in the world, and I don't want to come across as some sort of super duper guy who's, who knows everything and has done everything. But like those cheap Chinese guitars are not good guitars most of the time, but they're not god awful guitars that you can't like get playable. That's just not true. And I just call bullshit on it. Instead of destroying a guitar, you can definitely 100% make it good enough so that it could be some kid's first practice guitar to learn, the basics of guitar on. You can do that. And I don't believe that it's for any other reason than you can get people to click your video. It's like there's so many things you can do that will make people angry with you and click your videos, and they watch so that they can rage at you in the comments. And I get that that's what these people are doing because they want that interaction. It's like I'm trying to make people interact with my content. I tell you guys like, hey, what do you think of this? Let me know. Here is a vote you can vote on, to try to get some interaction. It's really hard to get people to interact. Unless you do one very, 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 I suppose you would say smart thing. I don't think it's smart. And that is, you create something that people will rage over. Because then people will interact. If you can get people angry, they will comment a lot, But I think that you're sacrificing your integrity, and I think you're sacrificing the community, and I think you're sacrificing for lack of a better word, your soul, I suppose. And it's just one of those things where I feel like, isn't it better to make something that is actually good? Another common version of this that I see is, for example, someone reviewing a case. I've seen this a couple of times. And they'll put the guitar in this case, and they'll talk about how the, person who's made this case, the company, are claiming that you can do certain things to the case and that it will protect the guitar. And then you see them do things like throw it off a bridge or down a cliff or something like that. And then the surprise, the guitar is destroyed. And it's just kind of like, come on, you knew exactly what you were doing, you know exactly why you did this. But also, I get that on some level, yeah, you want to call out the companies for making outrageous claims, but no one's going to do these things. and it's not like all you're doing is destroying a guitar, and you're not doing it for the reasons that you're actually claiming that you're doing them, which is for like proving what the companies can actually get away with doing, or what the product is actually meant for. It's because having a thumbnail, for example, of a bridge and the guitar falling down will get people clicking it, and having that be a part of the story of the video will get people to click it. It's just one of those things where you're sacrificing a lot of things, and you could talk about, you know, having integrity and looking out for the consumers and doing things to showcase, you know, what the companies are really doing, and that you're being, you know, good. But honestly, what you're doing is just you're creating this increasingly difficult environment for people to sift through and find the positive things and the real things that are actual good things, and sifting out the bullshit. Because a lot of these channels have good content as well, but they have also these videos that are just, yeah. And the thing is, a better thing to do would be to teach people how to take care of their guitars. You know, like even my most inexpensive guitar I care about, because I've made songs on it and I like the guitar, and I found something about it that I liked that made me want to keep it. Because obviously if you have a guitar that you don't like at all, you wouldn't keep it. But if you have a guitar that you like, you want to take care of it, and you should teach people that. The reason why you get a really nice case that can, you know, stand getting thrown off a bridge isn't because you're going to throw the guitar off a bridge. It's because if something happens, you want your guitar to be protected. You know, it's your baby or whatever. And it's so strange that this is not the focus. It's like, well, let's buy a guitar and destroy it, because guitars are just these tools. But it's not. They're not tools. I mean, like, I don't believe that they are. I mean, yeah, sure, on level, but they are, you know, they are your tool. There's something precious about them that shouldn't be treated with such little care and so undignified, and such little respect for a piece of art. They I mean, you couldn't make music without a guitar, you know. I mean, or guitar-based music, at least. You know, you need to have your instrument, and it's a precious thing. I've also seen videos on counterfeit guitars. And obviously I think that, like, for example, selling a guitar with Gibson, which is the most common one, written on the headstock, and then it's not actually Gibson, is wrong. Counterfeiting is wrong. You're trying to trick people. You shouldn't do that. But I've seen videos of people like talking about, like, how do we make sure we know which one is the counterfeit and what's the real deal, and trying to teach people about that. But also, sneakily in doing that, cutting the guitars apart. And in one way I understand it, because maybe the guitar shouldn't be allowed to exist, because it can be interpreted as something else. But there is always some way around that, you know, like removing a headstock, or the decal on the headstock, or reshaping it a little bit, or routing and gluing in a new veneer, or something, you know, creating a little something. But also, the point shouldn't be to look at a guitar and determine if it's counterfeit by cutting it apart, because that means that you still have to buy the guitar, you still have to get the guitar, you still have to, you know, if you're buying it online, you won't be able to cut it apart until you have the physical guitar in your workshop or whatever, so you can cut it apart. So you need to teach people how to spot the differences just by pictures, and how to reclaim their money, like how to actually go about changing things once they've already happened. Like, okay, you know, the pictures were not the guitar that I got, or something, because that could also be, you know, and just like, okay, well, how does it work on eBay? How do you contact eBay? How do you contact the sellers? How do you contact the right authorities to get this under wraps? Because that's the actual real issue. The real issue is spotting the guitar before you buy it, so you know if you're buying the right thing or the wrong thing. But also, if someone is claiming that something is something it isn't, how do you go about legally, you know, saving grace or whatever? You know, like, that's never what they're talking about in these videos. They're always like, oh, you can see here on the binding that it's not as yellow. I mean, they're just going to change the binding and make it more yellow than white, you know? Or like, oh, you can see here on the decal it's leaning a little bit weird. And it's like, yeah, well, there probably are Gibsons out there with a decal that is a little bit wrong, you know? It always happens. You know, you can't, even with CNC machines, make every guitar exactly the same. I know people think that, but it's not completely true. There's always some little thing that goes wrong. So the question really is, how do you spot a guitar being fake before you've wasted your money? And how do you go about calling the police or calling the right authorities? What are the right authorities also in different places for when you have a counterfeit guitar, when you've been tricked, when someone's basically stolen your money? And that they never talk about that either. You know, and maybe that's because it's kind of hard to do, and it doesn't make for a good video. But then, you know, the point of the video isn't education anymore. It's, you know, to get people to click. But also, it is better if you have a, you know, like a guitar that shouldn't be in circulation and it shouldn't be sold or bought because it's a counterfeit. It is better to try to make it the best guitar it can be, and just removing the traces that would make it a counterfeit. For example, you could route in some sort of new design into the headstock and inlay a piece of wood and have a completely new brand. You can just do that, you know, just remove the Gibson. You can cut the headstock off and, you know, or not the headstock, but the upper part of the headstock off, just clean off, straight through. It won't look nice, but you could do that. Just teach people that sort of thing. Maybe I need to do videos on that. I don't know. Let me know if that's something you would want to know about, like how to deface a counterfeit. I don't really care about counterfeit guitars that much because I make my own guitars, and I don't really care about brand that much. If I want a Gibson, I would want a Gibson. I wouldn't want it to be anything else, because I mean, a Les Paul shaped guitar can be very different depending on what brand it is and how they make the guitar and what they use to make it. I know a lot of people don't like and care about the tone wood, which is a completely different topic. But even if you have two different brands making the same shaped guitar, they can be very different guitars. I hope you can at least agree with me on that. but yeah, the counterfeit thing is just, I get that it's an issue, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but you don't have to take something negative and continue the circle of negativity and make more negativity. You could, you know, you could try to see like, oh well, how do we turn this guitar into a positive? I mean, I would, for example, if I were making that video in that situation, I would have looked at the guitar and gone through it and said, okay, well, here are the 3 things that makes this a counterfeit Gibson, and I'm going to remove those things. I'm going to work on those and remove them, and I'm going to set up the guitar and make it play as good as I can make it go without any, you know, super big difference. Like, yeah, I might make a new nut, but I'm not going to change the pickups, you know, just small things, the setup and stuff. And then I would just be like, okay, do I have any kids in my local area that would like to learn how to play the guitar? Just a little bit, and I'll set some time aside and I'll show them the basic chords, you know, maybe record a drum loop for them so they have something to play to. You know, show them some of the online things that can teach them a little bit of chords and a little bit of songs, and then just help them, you know, with a tuner. I mean, like, a tuner is a couple of bucks. I'd buy them a tuner and just, you know, hope that they will stick with it. And if they don't, you know, then maybe at least they had a fun summer learning the basics of guitar. And just, you know, put that energy back into the community and, you know, teach a kid how to have fun, you know, with the guitar, and maybe they'll get off the iPad a little bit, you know, or something. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have said that because not all kids are drones. It's a very popular thing to say nowadays that I don't really like, but you know what I mean. You know, there probably are in my neighborhood 10 kids that they would think it's fun. They would think it's fun to learn how to play the guitar. Would like to, and you could just, you know, give it to them, or you could fix it up, change it around, write a description telling what it is, and then just sell it and see if there is anyone who wants it. You know, just like sell it at a discount or something. Just like, hey, this is a Gibson that I mistakenly bought, and I've changed it around so it's no longer a Gibson. It's its own thing. It's a perfect platform for modding. I've done a setup so it plays beautifully. So if you want to change out the pickups or have some fun just putting in, you know, something weird, I might add something crazy like a kill switch or something fun like that. That could be fun. And then just sell it off and just, you know, sell it for what you had to pay for it, you know, and just see if anyone wants it. And if no one wants it, do something crazy with it, you know. That's another way you can go if money is an issue as well, you know. I would just, I don't know, I would do something like that. And I think the issue is that these are not what these channels are about. I know this might be like calling them out or whatever, but the truth is you can say one thing and mean something else, or you can pretend that you care, but then you're actually not doing anything. And the thing is, what's the point of caring if you're not going to do anything, you know? And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I couldn't get tempted to make a quick buck doing something crazy that made a video that got a lot of likes. I hope I won't become like that, and I don't feel like I am like that, at least haven't yet, which you probably can tell by the fact that I don't really have very exciting thumbnails or exciting titles. Usually my titles are like how to build this or how to draw this or something. Something that I think is funny or interesting, but not. I try to stay away at least from titles like "You won't believe this guitar" or something, or "You won't believe what happened next," or something, you know, like that. And I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. My point is, that's not what they're doing. They might say that they have a respect for guitars, or they have a respect for the arts, or they have a respect for something, but they don't. Because what they're doing is something else. And I think the way we make this sort of thing go away is that we don't engage with it. If you see one of the YouTubers you watch or like do something like this and you get annoyed with them and you get angry and you feel like saying something, don't write comments. Because, like it or not, for some stupid reason here on YouTube, negativity and criticism is the same thing as loving something. They don't care. Writing a bad comment is just as good as writing a good comment, which I disagree with, and I don't think that's a good thing, and I think that makes YouTube a place where a lot of people can just create crap. I see it, you know, like if you scroll shorts, which you shouldn't do, stay away from shorts as much as you can. Or I mean, watch my shorts, because I'm trying to make shorts that are actually showing you something that is good. But I'm not really there yet. I feel like I'm still learning how to make shorts. But you can see in shorts a lot of people doing stupid things and negativity things and just trends that are bad. You know, like we had a guy in my city who broke his spine and is going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, teenager, just because he did one of those stupid TikTok trend things. Surprise, surprise, it was a bad idea. If you see a YouTuber doing something that you disagree with and don't like, don't subscribe to them. I'm not saying that you have to unsubscribe if they've done a bunch of things that you do like, but for that video, don't press like and don't write a comment. And if you notice pretty far into the video that they're doing something bad, then click away, don't watch the entire video. Because that's the game. They're doing these things for likes, comments, and they don't care if they get good comments or bad comments, and for the views, because people are going to be like, oh, I have to watch the crazy video of the guy throwing this guitar in front of a train to see if it dies. What are you talking about? Just, if we all collectively agree that we're not gonna interact with that sort of content and that we're not gonna promote it with our engagement and our time, then it will go away. If we interact more with positivity and creativity and people doing good things, you know, someone who's making a video showing you like how to turn your beginner guitar into a custom guitar, or how to take a pickup for $10 and make it into a $100 pickup or something like that. If you find someone who's doing something creative and beautiful and nice, that is actually going to help or create positivity. And even if it's not perfect, even if the information is 90% there or something, it's like, just doesn't have the right words to express his thoughts or whatever, but he's getting there, he's trying. If we engage with that sort of content instead, we will see more of that sort of content. And that's why I'm making this video, because I'm annoyed with it, but I've realized that a lot of those channels that I used to get recommended a lot, since I stopped engaging with that sort of things that I don't like, they went away for me. And I'm a happier person without them. Like, sure, it sucks because they also do videos about like guitars and the newest guitars that are coming this year and things like that. But I can just Google the companies that I'm interested in, and I'll find their page and I'll see the guitars. And if I see any good guitars, I can just look those up, and most likely I'll find someone who's doing a video on that guitar. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't. And I think the community will be better if we start thinking about our responsibility over the videos and not just the person creating them. Because like, I've done more videos on LM boards than I ever thought I would. I just wanted to do the first one because I thought, hey, this is actually a thing that is like really easy to make and could be fun. The rest of them I've only done because you guys liked them and because you guys commented and because you thought it was fun. And if you guys don't talk to me about that, you're not gonna see him. It's like that Jack White, I think, said it in an interview, that he doesn't like phones on his concerts because people don't applaud, and so he doesn't know if they like the music. So when the concert is over, he feels like, people showed up but it was a bad concert. And then people are like, wow, what are you talking about? We loved it. Why don't you come out for an encore? And he's like, well, you didn't applaud, so I didn't think, I didn't think I would have to, or there was a point. And it's kind of like that, with YouTube. But it works both ways. You can comment and build something up and say, hey, we want more of this. We want more creativity. We want more positivity. We want more videos about doing things the right way, the good things, and you can comment less and pull back on bad things, It's the same thing with that guy who did all those horrible things to other guitarists where he stole all their music. I don't remember his name, and honestly, I don't think we should remember his name. He most likely got a lot of positivity, and that confirmed to him that it was a good thing that he was doing, even though it was a bad thing. Now, obviously, the people in the comments didn't know that he was stealing all his music, and they would probably have commented very differently if they knew. But that goes to show the power of the comment section. So, if you feel like I said anything that was worth anything in this video and you agree with me, you can let me know by pressing the like button and commenting underneath your thoughts or feeling. And if you don't like it and you think that I'm wrong, you can explain to me why I'm wrong in the comments below, and maybe you'll have an opinion that is somehow intelligent. We'll see. Most likely it will be a misunderstanding of what it was I'm saying. because usually that's what it is when I get negativity. I feel like people misinterpreting something. And if you agree, then maybe try to see if you can implement the things I'm saying, and think about the people that you're watching on YouTube. And if you have children, the people your children are watching, because that's a whole another issue, you know. I'm scared about what the children channels on YouTube are really, really, really messed up. A lot of them, not just Stevie T. It was anyway. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys are gonna have an amazing, awesome day, and that you're gonna do something creative. I'm having a really nice, beautiful summer day. It's really warm and nice, so I'm gonna see if I can't go outside for a bit. And yeah, I have a little bit of guitar building that I have to do. I'll talk to you guys in a later video coming soon about that. So don't hold your breath, because it's several days. You can't hold your breath that long. But yeah, stick around if you want to. And I hope we will have a bunch of creativity and positivity and nice things to do. And yeah. Anyway, on to next time. Don't forget to stay awesome and cool. And go out there into the world and spread some positivity. The world is pretty negative at the moment. There's a lot of things that are negative. A lot of people are divided. We're in different groups, and no one is talking to someone who doesn't already agree with them. You can be the change. You can go out there and hug a stranger or whatever, or maybe don't hug them. Talk to them first and then hug them. You know, make it not super weird. And and I'll talk to you guys in the next video or in the comments below, whichever you prefer. Okay? And don't smash a guitar, please. Unless you're on stage and you're rocking out and you're going crazy on drugs, then you can smash a guitar, I suppose. It's not cool. It's never cool to destroy a guitar, but I can at least understand it, you know? If someone is like pushing your time slot away to give room for Justin Bieber, then I can understand if you get frustrated. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. So, bye. Meow.